What's up? It's Andy. I'm here with you to give you a couple of my favorite selections for Thursday Night Football on No House Advantage. We're going to be taking a look at the Pick'em contest. We got the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Seattle Seahawks. This is going to be kind of interesting to forecast because you got this whole Brock Purdy situation going on. And the Niners had so many weapons that they've been able to manage their way through it. But now all of a sudden, there's no Eli Mitchell there. There's no Deebo Samuel there. And now there's kind of a condensed tree of skill players outside of the quarterback there. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one works out. If you haven't taken part in one of these contests before, it's very simple. No house advantage. It's player props and fantasy football rolled into one platform. You make selections based on what they give you. So they'll show you a player from this game. Christian McCaffrey, his rushing total, 70 yards. Do you think it's going to go over or under? If you take the over and it goes over, that's one right. And the more you get right, the higher you ascend in the standings and the closer you get to that, $10,000, $15,000 top prize. There's also a Versus the House contest, which we'll be taking part in tomorrow, where you simply pick any 5 player props. You get those right, you net up to 20 times your money. It's a great fantasy football platform. Make sure you check it out. And if you go there using the link in the description of this video, No House Advantage is actually going to match your first deposit up to $50. So you slap 50, they slap you 50, and you got 100 to start with on the platform here on this Thursday night. So I'm going to start with George Kittle. We've seen a willingness for Purdy to throw it to Kittle. Kittle has been involved these last 2 weeks since Purdy's been started. And I almost hate saying the guy's name. I feel he's so Purdy. But George Kittle, I think he's going to be a crucial part of this game. Anytime you're talking about a young quarterback and you want to get them easy completions, it's usually checkdowns to the running back and then over the middle to the tight end. So I foresee George Kittle being an integral part of the game plan in this one, especially without Deebo Samuel. As you saw last week, even with Deebo, there a lot of short throws and a lot of high percentage completions. And if that's going to be the case again, you got to like George Kittle hitting the over on his yardage total. And looking at that quarterback in Purdy, in a game like this, where this is going to be his first test, it's a primetime game. Everybody's going to be watching him. He's going to be on the road at Seattle. I don't want to call that a tough place to play these days, but it is going to be something. It's definitely going to be a test, and I'm going to take the under 1.5 touchdown throws for Purdy because I think Shanahan's going to do everything he can to kind of limit his mistakes, not allow him to lose this one. There's going to be a ton of McCaffrey, which is why I also like the over on Christian McCaffrey rushing yards. When the roster was more healthy, you're going to get your fair share of Deebo coming out of the backfield, and then they would rotate in. Earlier in the year, it was Jeff Wilson, then it was Eli Mitchell, but they're both out of there. And if this game's close, you're just going to keep seeing McCaffrey rolled out there. And in this game in particular, on the road, prime time, a game that they definitely want to win against the team who's closest to them in the division, I like McCaffrey to be heavily involved. So give me the over on McCaffrey rushing yards and the under on touchdowns for Brock Purdy. Then on the other side of the ball, you're looking at Kenneth Walker III, as I like to call him, Kenneth Chalker, because that's how many people love using him in daily fantasy. I'm going to take the under on his rushing yards. We don't even know his exact health status, so if he's active in this one, he's probably more likely to split carries than he normally would. Then you're looking at the San Fran defense, one of the most nasty defenses in the whole league, and they got his total in the 50s. I would take the under on that even if he was completely healthy. You know that these San Francisco 49ers defense, they kind of won them that game against the Dolphins, and then they allowed them to kind of really dominate and control the last game against the Bucks. I don't foresee that changing on the road against Seattle, and an offensive line that had struggled to run the ball these last couple of weeks. You've seen Walker's production dip already. Then you add in an injury, and then the fact that he's facing the Niners defense, I'm going to take the under on that one. And as far as Geno Smith goes, I'm also going to take the under 1.5 touchdown throws for the reason I just mentioned. Did you see Brady last week? When you have a team who is nursing a young quarterback, that defense always seems to show up because they know it's necessary if you want to get the win. They have been killing it these last 2 weeks with him under center, and I don't foresee that changing in a game on the road against Seattle. So I'm going to take the under 1.5 touchdown throws for both of these quarterbacks. And those are the picks that I got for you on this Thursday night. If you're not a fan of my picks, do not worry about it. Stokastic offers absolutely free projections for this particular contest. Just go to stokastic.com, check those out. They cook them up in the basement of Area 51 like the long-haired guy from Independence Day. I don't know how they make them, but they spit them out, optimal lineups, and it's free for this contest, so definitely check that out. I'll be back with you tomorrow to give my favorite picks versus the house. I will see you then. Take it easy.